Hakadosh Boker Or Masechet Batra Daf Lamed Daled Mud Aleph 134a1 says the Gemara. Mikara Mai Savar. You remember we were just speaking about the story of Shammai and Yonatan ben Oziel. Yonatan ben Oziel was a very, very big tzaddik that he didn't have children. Yonatan ben Oziel came and what did he do? He went and he got the properties from this person because the father was very upset that his children were not acting properly. He gave everything to Yonatan ben Oziel. Yonatan ben Oziel was Magdish Shlish. He consecrated a third, he sold a third, and he gave back a third. And Shammai was very upset with him, and he said, listen, if you could take back from the Ekdesh and from the he sold, so take back from the children. But if not, you can't do anything. Shammai said, you won me. What was Shammai thinking at the beginning? Because of the story of Bet Choron. Listen to the story. The Tanakh we learned in the Mishnah. Right? The father was mudar menu hana'ah, which means the ben came and he prohibited on the father to benefit from him. So mamash, imagine the son was so upset at the father, he made a neder, the father cannot benefit from him. Right? And he wanted to be, right, the ben was getting, now he wanted the father to come to the wedding. Now he can't. So Amar lechavro, he went and he said to his friend, the chatzer and the seuda are given to you as a present. They're in your reshut, right? But why? They're in your reshut in order that my father should be able to come to the seuda. Amarlo, he says, he says, if they're mine, it's a dish. Oh, this guy, he put his foot in it. Yeah, he put his foot in it because he just gave the present to his friend in order that his father should come. The guy comes and he says, if it's mine, it's all a dish. Amarlo, he says, he said, what? So he says, I didn't give you my portion. He says, I didn't give it to you in order to be Magdish. Amarlo, he says, he says, I don't understand. What do you want to do? You want to do a kombina al cheshboni? What do you want to do? You really, your father's not allowed to benefit from it. Right? So what do you want to do? You want to do a whole kombina, give it to me, and now your father is going to be able to come to the wedding and benefit. And so you want that your father and you are going to be eating, drinking, enjoying yourselves, and now all this hafarat nedarim and everything is on my head? Get out of here. What are you getting me involved? The rabbi said an incredible yisod. If you give a present, and that person that receives the present cannot be magdish the present, it's not a present. It's not his. It's not a present. So therefore, it wasn't a present over here. Why? Because he wasn't able to. No, that he wanted to be magdish at zeh. Yeah? And if he cannot be magdish at zeh, so then what? So it's not a matana. Fine. Next, Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan. We learned to the Braita. Shmonim Talmidim. This is a very beautiful Gemara. Listen carefully. Yeah? Yeah, Mordechai. Shmonim Talmidim yulu Hillel Zaken. There were 80 Talmidim to Hillel Zaken. Okay, we were just talking about Shammai, now we're talking about Hillel. Yeah? Somebody told me that my child's going to be called Shammai. Yeah? No, you'll go to Hillel, Shammai. So he says, Shloshim mehem ruim. There's a Gemara, so you had 80 Talmidim to Hillel Zaken. Shloshim mehem ruim shetishrei alehem shechinah. 30 of these students, they were fitting to have Shekhinah onto them like Moshe Rabbeinu. Some are great people. 30 of them were fitting to have the sun stop for them like Yoshua bin Nun. There's 3 menunim and 20 in between. Okay? So that means they were greater than Yoshua, but less than Moshe. Hagadol shebekulan, the greatest of all of the students, was Yonatan ben Oziel. So you saw, Shammai came against Yonatan ben Oziel. Yonatan ben Oziel was the greatest of the students of Hillel Zaken. The Katan Shebekulan, the least of all of them was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was an incredible person. So imagine, that was the least of all the 80 students. Right? The number 80. Right? And look at, so he says, Amru Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, listen to the least of them. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, they said on him, Shelo iniach, that he didn't leave. Mikra, Mishnah, Gemara, Halachot, Agadot, Diktuke Torah, Diktuke Sofrim, Kalim v'Chamurim, Gzerot Shavot, Tekufot, Gematariyot, Meshalim Kovsim, Meshuliot Shalim, Sichat Shedim, Sichat Dekalim, Sichat Melech HaSheret, Vedavar Gadol, Vedavar Katan. He didn't leave any of these things. That means he knew all the Torah, Mishnayot, Gemarot, Halachot, Agadot, Diktuke Torah. Right? Each one of these things are incredible. If you look at the things, the Torah, right? Right? Kalim v'Chamurim is all the Kal v'Chomer, all the Gzera Shavot, Tkufot. These are all the Tkufot Right, all the numerical values, gematriot, mishalim, a whole bunch of mishalim. They used to have a whole bunch of mishalim. They used to make of the kosim mishalim, sichat shadim. He knew how to speak with the demons. Right, sichat dekalim, the trees. Sicha malachei asharet. Davar gadol. What is davar gadol? Davar gadol is maaseh merkava. What is davar katan? All the machlokot between Abai and Rava. So imagine, lekayem masheneemar. This is what to fulfill that which was written. Leanchilu avay yeshot stem amaleh. He says, one second. What does that mean? Mamash, I'm going to give everything to them. They're going to have all these things, right? That's the 310 olamot. Yesh is gematria of Shai. What is Shai? 310. Yesh, right? Yesh, the 310 olamot. Yesh, Shai olamot, yesh, right? All the Devar Chokhmah and everything. So he comes and he says, right? If right now Gadol Shebikulam Malacha Kamachama, so what did they say on Yonatan Oziel? Yonatan Oziel, they said Shebeshashi Yoshev Yosef Torah, Kol Of Sheporeach Halav Nisraf. There was a bird that came on top. Mamash, the reception that was would go up, boom, it would get burnt. Yeah, mamash, incinerated, completely burnt. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Mishnah on the bottom of Kuf Lamed Aled Amud Aleph says the Mishnah, Haomer, Ze beni ne'eman. Imagine I come and I say, this is my son. I'm going to be believed. Yeah, he says, Ze achi. This is my brother. Eno ne'eman. He's not believed. Yeah, Bitol imo. Yeah, but he does take, right, from his portion. Meaning, for a person to say on his own son, he is believed. Why? Because it's biado to give whatever. But when he says that it's a brother, he's taking away from the other brother's properties. So he's not going to be believed, but he does take a chelek in his portion. Meaning that since he did admit that he's a brother, so he's going to take a portion with his portion. Right? Met, if he dies, right, the safek, it goes back to the original brother that testified. Now, if it goes from another place, and then the brothers are going to come and they're going to inherit. Okay? Gemara. Why is it that a person could come and say that this is my son, he's going to be believed? What's halacha? Shmuel says Yosho, to inherit him. So first of all, to do with Yerusha and to do with Yibum. Remember that the second a person has a child, his wife doesn't have to do Yibum. So therefore, the second that he says, this is my son, the wife doesn't have to do Yibum. 134b. Yeah, so says the Gemara, Liyorsho, he comes and he says, Liyorsho, Shita, obviously. Meaning when a person comes and he says that he's going, so obviously he's going to be Yoresh. So what does it mean, Liftor et Yishto mina Yibum itzlichale? Right? He says, well, you need it because of the Yibum. Why? Obviously. We learned it. Misha amar b'sham yitato yesho banim. Imagine a person comes and he says, by the way, he has children. Yeah, what happens? Ne'eman, he's going to be believed. Why not? Even if he has it from another wife, the second he has children, gamarnu. Right? I heard a comment for it. I didn't understand. Well, yeah, that's it. Ma? I didn't understand the... Yeah? Yesh li achim eno ne'eman. But if he says yesh li achim, right, he's going to be not believed. So we learned it already in the Mishnah, in Kiddushin. So answers the Gemara, hatam de lo muchsak lan be'ach. Which means like this. Over there, the Mishnah was talking about that we didn't have a chazakah that person's a brother. So for the Mishnah is teaching us that a person is going to be ne'eman liftor et ishto min hayibum bimkom shedvarav enam omdim keneged chazakat kodemet. So it means there's no chazakah beforehand. So therefore it's going to, here in this Mishnah we're learning, which means that our Mishnah is coming teaching you that a person is going to be poteret ishto min hayibum even against the chazakah. You remember we learned this already. Are you believed keneged chazakah or not? There was a machloket between Rabbi Yehuda and Chachamim, I think it was. So Amar of Yosef says of Yosef. Amar of Yehuda Amar Shmuel says of Yosef name of Shmuel. Why do we say that a person could say, this is my son, he's going to believe? Because since a husband that comes and he says that I divorced my wife, he's going to be believed, so that's why he's going to be believed. Amar of Yosef says of Yosef, Mare de Avraham bedelo Tanya. He says, Ribono shel Avraham. He says, Tali Tanya bedelo Tanya. Are you going to say things that I said in the name of Yehuda? It comes out that Shmuel was Tali Tanya bedelo Tanya. He was Tolea Hora'ah, which was taught in the Mishnah, without bringing down the Mishnah and the Braita, which means like this. Usually, right, you always bring down the source. If you're not going to bring down the source, what are you doing? So therefore, you always bring it down. So says the Gemara, this is what it means to say. Amar of Yishua says of Yishua, Nipne ma amru zebeni ne'eman. Why did they say that you're going to be believed to say that this is my son, you're going to be believed? Well, because you could divorce her. Meaning you have a migu. You could right now come and divorce your wife, and then she doesn't need you, boom. So the fact that you come and you say that this is your son, so you should be believed. because you could have divorced her, and then you don't have to. She doesn't need Yibum anyway. So Amr of Yosef says of Yosef, Hasha damartam in Hoil. Now that you just said Hoil, Hoil is like the Migu. Baal Shamar Gerashet Ishti Iman Hoil Vedogasha. He says if a husband comes and he says I divorced my wife, he's believed because he could have said he could divorce her right now. Meaning a person comes and says I divorced my wife. I don't have to ask him any questions. Why? He could divorce her right now. The fact that it's biador right now to divorce her, you're going to believe him that he did it a month ago or 2 months ago or a year ago. So Kiata Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Baal Shamar Gerashet Ishti Eno Neman. Menapeach Rav Sheb Yadeh, so Rav Sheshab was like saying, well, what's going on? What's this? Azal Hoil, Rav Yosef. He says, you have the Hoil of Rav Yosef, you have a Migu. So he says, any. The Amar Rav Chia bar Avin, Amar Rav Yochanan, Baal Shamar Gerashet Ishti Neman. He's going to be Neman. So says the Gemara, Lakashia, Kal Mafreya, Kal Naba, which means like this. The first memra in the name of Yochanan, that a husband is not going to be believed to say that I divorced my wife, we're talking about Lemafreya, retroactively. But from now onwards, you are believed. Everyone understood? One more time. From now onwards, he is believed. Why? Because he could divorce her right now. So from now onwards, he's believed to do with the fact that he divorced his wife. But retroactively, it does not help. Right? Now, we're going to say, what does that mean retroactively? So, for example, let's say she, Chas Shalom, she went with somebody else. And now he went, I divorced her. He just saved her skin. Because by saying that he divorced her, right? So then that's it. She was divorced, so therefore she's not going to get killed. But we don't believe him, lemafreya. We only believe him, mikanu laba. There's going to be a difference between lemafreya and laba. So says the Gemara, ibailehu, amar lemafreya. What happens if he comes and he says, he already tells you he was a mafreya. He tells you, I divorced her 30 days ago, a month ago. Are you going to believe him on the laba? Do we split the testimony or not? Many times when a person comes and he gives testimony, do we split it or not? So if you realize in our Mishnah, we even split it. Because when a person comes and he says, this is my brother, the other brothers do not have to give him anything. But he himself does have to give. From his portion, he has to split it. Why? Because he said it. So Palgina and Dibura, we cut the speech and we divide it into two. Meaning on certain parts we're going to believe, and certain parts we're not going to believe. That's the way it is. So he says, Rav Mari, right, one of them said Palgina and Dibura, one of them said we don't Palgina and Dibura. Okay? So Maishna Midrava. What's the difference to Rava? The Hamar Rava, but Rava says, Ish ploni bal ishti. Imagine a person comes and he says that this person had relations with his wife. Hu ve'acher mitzarfin leorgo. Him and another person, they could be mitzarfim to kill him, to kill the man. Lehorgo ve'lo leorga. Only to kill the man, but not the woman. Right? Why? Because since he's karov to his wife, so therefore he cannot testify about his wife, but he can testify against the man. So he comes with another witness. He testifies that this man had relations with his wife, right? And then what happens? We kill the man. So therefore, what's the difference in the
by the wife, so now we can kill her.
So if another two people, yes. So says the Gemara, betrei gufe palgina. You're right. With two different bodies, we say palgina dibura. Echad gufa with one body, lo palgina. We're not going to come and we're not going to do palgina dibura.